Hello, everyone. Okay, so in this video, I will do an intro regarding a lingering issue with the critical 29th degree of when Pluto was in Capricorn that will play out in December as well, and how the Mars Pluto opposition from November is still in play and until spring 2025. I will also briefly discuss the four super full moons of this year that are related because of their vibrational effects. Then I will give you a quick rundown of December's three main themes. Then I will put up December's planetary alignment with the aspects and degrees for you to take a screenshot of. And then I will also give you some hints and tools to help you navigate a clearer picture for your signs. Thereafter, I will give you a personal scope for each sign for December, and it will have a snippet of your 2025 scope. So that'll be included. So a lot of information, and I will probably speed up um, not the volume, but the video to get more airtime in each video, as I will have several videos because I can't fit all signs on one. So if the video is too fast, just go to the settings icon on the YouTube video and slow it down if you need to. Okay, and I'll mention the pinned comments in the intro. So, okay, so I want to start off this intro by saying you would be forgiven for not believing all this hullabaloo of astrologers and others celebrating the end of Pluto and Capricorn, yay, in November, and onwards to bigger and better things. Obviously, many of you are not feeling that way, or you may have a nagging feeling, maybe discontent, or some sort of like a thorn in your side. And you are right. This is another reason I have not put out a dedicated video for Pluto and Aquarius for all signs. But that will surely come in the future because it is we have plenty of time and it is a 20-year transit. But in the near future, I will put that video out um, because I want to first help you understand this lingering feeling and planets and the asteroids that are coming in for a cleanup in Isle Capricorn. um, Plus, I just don't want to leave anyone behind, and there is a lot of wrapping up behind that's left. I'm specifically referring to this wrap up or this cleanup in Isle Capricorn. I'm specifically referring to Ceres, the dwarf planet, and the very critical 29th degree of Capricorn. Um, that, Pluto has gone back and forth over the last few months. And Ceres is just as powerful as Pluto, but with a different strategy in mind. Mercury is retrograde and will be shadow retrograde through December until January 4th. I mean, it will go direct, I think, around December 15th, but it will still be in its shadow retrograde, and that doesn't clear until January 4th. Mars is about to retrograde in Leo, and it'll back up all the way into Cancer until it goes forward again in both signs, which ends in April of 2025, or maybe a little later. And the North and South nodes are in Aries and Libra, respectively, until the end of January. So with the nodes, it's an 18 or 19-year karmic and repetitive story. And finally, as our transformation has been completed with Pluto in Capricorn, but from within, we are now transforming on the outside or trying to reconstruct those broken pieces that Pluto just trampled on. If you remember from the November scope, I said this will come in three stages in December. And the first stage is this first week of December. And then the second stage is the winter solstice, and then finally at the end of the month with the new moon on New Year's Day. And in three spaced apart stages from January, spring, and mid-year 2025. Okay, but I will go in more detail with each scope, each individual scope for you guys on how that all plays out. But right here, I just wanted to give you, like a synopsis. Okay, so now the tools and hints that you can get. Um, First, you can get your natal chart by Googling free birth charts. So you can see where December's planetary degrees may match your natal planetary degrees, which will mean where, when, and how you will be affected. Also, to get a clearer picture, listen for your sun, moon, and ascendant sign. And remember, your sun sign is where you shine. That's where your personality is, or where your strength is. It is your father, what your father imparted onto you. Your moon sign is your emotions. They are hidden. The moon is hidden. It is at night. It is what your mother imparted onto you. And then you can listen to your ascendant sign, which is the persona you display. It is the mask. It is how people see you. Uh, Now, just one note on this is some people and astrologers disagree with the ascendant um, being the persona and rather point to the I can't say it, mimium coli or the IC. It's in your chart. Um, they say that the IC is really your persona, and it is very much related to a family member that you may have been affected by, or family members or friends say you sound and look like that family member. I personally have tested this and it has proven to be correct. So it is up to you if you want to listen to that sign as well, your Amimium Coli. All right, another tool, and this is rather a hint, is planets show us what is happening, signs show us how it is happening, and houses show us where it is happening. Okay. Okay, also look for the pinned comments for related links I may mention and for links to other signs that will, again, not entirely fit in one video. Um, so I want to spend a few minutes briefly reminding you regarding the super full moons we've had since September, because they are related of how we got here. Again, only 1 or 2 points on each. So the first one was August 19th, super full moon in Aquarius, which was called the super blue moon. So the moon in Aquarius opposed the Leo sun, and both the sun and moon squared wild Uranus, which was in Taurus and still is, as well as Jupiter and Saturn squared off. So that was pretty powerful. And when I say, the super full moon in Aquarius, you would look to where Aquarius, which house Aquarius falls in your solar chart. In your natal chart, also, you would look to see if you have any Aquarius factors. Um, and then you would look to the house in the Leo, where Leo dominates in your solar chart, and then you will understand where those oppositions were. Okay, and the second one was September's partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. It was called the super harvest moon. Um, this eclipse in Pisces did oppose the Virgo sun. So again, look to your Pisces. So, for example, if you're like a Sagittarius, you would count two Pisces. So it would be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So Sagittarius would be your first house, Capricorn your second, Aquarius your third house, and Pisces would be your fourth house. Okay, and then Virgo. So you would count all the way to Virgo, and then you'll know which houses oppose. Okay. And here there was some sort of ending in your Pisces dominated house, but there was some sort of a dual option and there was some kind of a reversal. Okay, the third super full moon was October's um, October 17th super full moon in Aries, which is called the super hunter's moon. And prior to that, the first week in October, we did have a Libra solar eclipse, which opposed the Aries sun. So and plus we have the north and south nodes in Aries and Libra respectively. So all that is in play, and what that was saying was an opposition or a push pull between independence and partnerships, or independence at the risk of losing partnerships, or codependency at the risk of having independence, and so on and so forth. And again, I have videos dedicated to these super full moons, as well as you can, there's videos for the month, so you can go back and listen to those if you're interested. The final super full moon was the Taurus super full moon on November 15th or thereabouts, it was called the Super Beaver Moon. And Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus was in Capricorn, I believe, at that time. Uranus was also in Taurus, and Taurus. Um, so there was a tight conjunction with Taurus and Uranus in the moon, which opposed the Scorpio sun. So that was pretty powerful too. But I will say the most powerful of the four super full moons um, was the October 17th doozy of a full moon in Aries, which opposed the Sun in Libra and squared Mars in Cancer and Pluto. Not to mention, there was a Mars Pluto opposition. I think a few days earlier, or maybe in November. Well, it was an applying opposition. Um, in any case, the super full moon in Aries, in opposition to the Libra Sun, um, there was an ending in your Aries dominated house, um, wanting some sort of independence at the expense of your Libra dominated house. So a relationship was severed, or was the cause of the ending, or um, there was, or Libra was stifled in being its true self in a relationship, so that it would not rock the boat, as Aries demanded independence. Okay. Now, the last thing I have to mention for your own good, or for your information, sorry, some people get mad when I say for your own good. So, as an FYI, or to be aware of, as I mentioned earlier, Mars will retrograde from Leo all the way back up into Cancer, where it opposed Pluto in Capricorn in November. Of course, this time Pluto will be in Aquarius, opposing Cancer. It'll happen next year. Um, but the theme of the original opposition will be in play, okay? The overarching theme. Uh, but since it'll be in Pluto will be in Aquarius, there'll be some kind of a twist. And Cancer rules the home and family. So again, the theme of tradition, home and family will be in play in another opposition then. That is why I mentioned in your October full moon in Aries ending that ending will be revived in spring of 2025 somehow. And 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 I also mentioned trying not to have a I'm doing air quotes volatile ending, um, or rise up to the heat, because Mars is the god of war and action. Because it will carry over to this new beginning, this revival in spring of 2025. Nonetheless, whatever happened, at least you are now aware of any issues or conflicts that may come up with this revival. And calm, formidable, and being disciplined will really help you with this. So try to remember that. Now, um, with this intro about this lingering um, Pluto and Capricorn 29th degrees, and these super full moons. And I'm not saying that there isn't something new happening for all of us and around us. There is. But like I mentioned, there is a lingering opposition, an issue which has crescendoed and which might feel almost irreconcilable, or even daunting, for some. For others, it might be just like a thorn in their side. So, yes, unfortunately, there still is some work to be done here, and God, or the universe, in its wisdom, know this, and the planetary alignments and aspects until about next spring or mid 2025 will be helping us with letting go where we need to, and or coming to a compromise, agreement, or even reversal that needs to happen. And more immediately, the universe is sending in Ceres, um, Pluto's most important equal, um, and who forced Pluto to compromise over Persephone. I believe Pluto's story is in October Scope. I'm not sure, but I'll put a link if you want to hear the story of Pluto and Persephone and Ceres. Ceres brought Pluto to his knees. Um, so so this first week of December, Ceres is doing just that. um, 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 has taken over from Pluto, because Pluto left Capricorn. Ceres took over from Pluto and Capricorn and is transversing that critical 29th degree. Okay. She is cleaning up after the hurricane, but cleaning up whether you like it or not, um, cleaning up in the sense of a compromise, and an equitable compromise where both parties um, gain and and lose. So you sacrifice to gain a compromise. And then Ceres will be moving to 0 degrees in Aquarius at the end of this first week of December, but more on that later. So Ceres is one of the 3 immediate planetary components of December that will help you with this outer transformation and reconstructing those broken pieces that we're all picking up now. It will help you with your newfound phoenix wings that Pluto gave to us. Remember, Pluto is about transformation. It's about the phoenix rising from the ashes, about rebirth. Like I said, she is the first of 3 other things that are going on in December. And December will have 3 themes, um, and I will go into each scope right at the beginning. I will tell you what those 3 themes are for December. And I think this is a good segue to go over. So this is December 2024's planetary lineup, and I did list almost all of the planetary aspects just as a Christmas present for everyone. Of course, I will not go over each and every single aspect that you see here. I will only um, mention the significant ones that will resonate more. But I went ahead and did everything for December just as a Christmas present. So go ahead and take a screenshot, and you can stop the video and take a screenshot if you want. So we have the 1st through the 5th, and then the 6th through the 9th. And 9th through the 15th. 17th through the 21st. 21st is the winter solstice. The 22nd through Merry Christmas. The 25th. And the 26th through the 31st. Okay, so those are the planetary lineups. You can stop the video and take the different screenshots and match it to your natal chart and follow along. So now, hi Capricorn, hope you are doing well with a stuck situation and the heavy duty cosmic weather demanding much from you, yet still. Okay, December has 3 distinctly different themes, and which are all related, plus one of these phases has 3 specific aspects in December. So a lot to cover, and let's get straight into this. Now, the first phase is during the first week of December, where you are trying to draw boundaries with your communication, commuting, social media, siblings, or cousins, uh, or you are experiencing this through others. Something is not right here, and you are trying to compartmentalize or fix it, as you are all at sea, or you have missed some blind spots, maybe. Not entirely your fault, as Neptune is powerful, and in its home sign of Pisces, Neptune is 100 times more powerful. Neptune is the grandmaster of fooling people to go through the fog, but end up crashing against an iceberg. Neptune offers rose-colored glasses to help people see the good and the bad. Neptune rules oil, perfumes, the ocean, medicine, alcohol, the music and Hollywood industries, etc. and etc. I think you get the picture, and thus what has happened to your third house, which also rules your ideas, the way you think, your neighborhood, neighbors, and short distance travel. Obviously, you have been stopped in your tracks because of you being lost at sea here, and you are putting up boundaries or pulling yourself back to shore. If you can figure out where that is, that is. Saturn is direct in Pisces, and it is helping you navigate yourself back to shore. Saturn is your ruler, so you're used to his energy. And just when you can see the semblance of sand or land, Neptune is waking up on December 6th with a new offer on the new moon in Pisces on the same day. Will it be a mirage or will it be real? You really won't know until about spring 2025 when Neptune leaves Pisces and stops playing tricks with your eyes. The third house is also related to eyes and the vision. Interesting, no? Um, but this new moon in Pisces is the beginning of the end, and Saturn will still be in Pisces and awake to exit Pisces at the same time in spring 2025. Now, Saturn will pay you the dividends if you stick to your boundaries and take this new escape with a grain of salt. After all, the ocean is salty too, right? Oh gosh, please excuse all these play on words. But it is quite to the point, on point, since it is your third house of communication or your need to be heard. Um, so, in other words, and to sum it up, you have to be careful with your communication. Also, commuting is in the third house, social media presence, and with siblings and cousins. And more on this soon. Incoming vids as well, videos. I mean, because it's not over until spring. Okay, the second theme has to do with a friend, friends, a group, or an association that introduced you to new power and control regarding your second house of job, income, and how you value yourself, which began with Pluto entering Aquarius in late November. Um, and it might have even began before that for you. The end of this first week of December, specifically December 7th, we see Ceres, Venus, Pluto, all conjunct in Aquarius at 0 degrees. This is a rare and important configuration that has not happened in almost 250 years. So, this is just as important in regards to your power and control, or the ones you are being empowered by, with, or through this group or association. This is just the beginning, as it is a 20-year journey, but at this juncture, you will be made aware of how you are either within or outside. And even if you're outside, um, still with a power structure that you are desiring and you'll be achieving. Look for where Aquarius, and if you have anything at 0 degrees, to see where this will impact you. As well, this is a good time to remind you to listen to the intro if you haven't, as it gives you a detailed backstory. And actually, I give you tools to help you navigate a clearer picture. Because in your personal scope, I'm really going to be touching on the main themes, but the intro has more information. And also, the intro has the December 2024 planetary lineup aspects and the degrees. So, if you want to take screenshots of that and compare it to your natal chart. Okay, the third and final theme of December that I will touch on actually comes in 3 phases in December. The first is Ceres, the mother of compromises, is in your sign this first week of December, helping you navigate some heavy duty finale regarding the way you are seen. Okay, um, but through a compromise. As Pluto left your sign in late November, you have been able to be a little lighter with the burden that was your persona, um, or what was expected of you, tweaking, changing, and perfecting it in the last 16 to 18 years. However, this year, Pluto was relentless in going back and forth over the critical late degrees of Capricorn, and especially the last 29th infamous degree. And as it was almost finished, the transformation from within, that is, Mars came in Cancer, your seventh house of partners, whether platonic, personal, or business, even open enemies as in your seventh house. And also, Cancer rules home and family. And Mars and Cancer opposed Pluto, saying you still have this area. Plus, Mars then moved into Leo, in your eighth house of intimacy, joint finances, taxes, uh, credit, the mortgage, and government benefits. And Mars and Leo also opposed Pluto, declaring not only your seventh house, but also your eighth house is opposed to this finale transformation until these two houses um, are satisfied and resolved. Now, Mars and Pluto will be in this tense dance until late spring 2025, albeit Pluto will be in Aquarius when it will oppose Mars in Cancer again. Um, but um, but um, but the overarching theme will be the Pluto and Capricorn theme uh, that had the opposition in November, but with a different set of rules, with a twist, because Pluto will be in Aquarius. Both Pluto and Mars coming to oppose each other and exacting that opposition was on November 3rd, triggered many other planets and the moon, where we saw endings or culminations. And as I mentioned, when Pluto left Capricorn on November 19th, Ceres has taken over from Pluto and has been in Capricorn working on a compromise. And it will still be there through the first week or so of December. That is phase one. The second phase comes in with the winter solstice on December 21st through Christmas, where there will be a further discussion, debate, um, or agreement or not regarding this compromise. And the third and tentative final phase will come through by the New Year's new Capricorn moon. Of course, you know your sign. I say tentatively because we are still watching the culmination and final departures yet to be in Pisces, and Mars' release of his opposition to Pluto, plus Mercury, the planet of communication, agreements, thinking, and contracts, will still be in shadow retrograde in Sagittarius, which is your 12th hidden house and the past or behind the scenes, until January 4th. It'll clear its shadow, where the communication will be factual by then. Even though you did not ask for it, Capricorn, you do carry the burden of having to be magnanimous. That is what Pluto empowered you with, um, and how you control others with that power. You have already felt it by others. Now, do you use it the way it was used against you, or do you use it the way you would have wanted it to be used um, with you? That is the question only you can answer, and that will be your aha moment through December, especially with these three phases, and then on to spring 2025. So, good luck with that, Capricorn. We are all rooting for our favorite leader of the cardinal signs. Okay, so let us now look at your planetary alignment in December. I will not go into all the aspects, but I did list them for you guys as an extra for this month's scope to speculate on your own. And with that, remember, planets show us what is happening, signs show us how it is happening, and houses will show us where it is happening. All right, but yeah, I listed all of them. I can't believe I did that. If you look at the intro, I threw up that document up there so you can take a screenshot. But with my purposes, what I'm going to be doing, I will just point out the main ones that I see are significant, and there are a lot. So this video, that's why most of these videos are being dedicated to only one sign. So let's look at that. I hate when my mouse sleeps. I think I need new batteries. Okay, so December starts out with a new moon in Sagittarius, which is your 12th hidden house, um, or behind the scenes, the past, your psyche. And there's a new opportunity here, or a seed that is being planted. Um, Sagittarius is the planet, is the sign that is very optimistic and hopeful. So ideas through Sagittarius are also very optimistic and hopeful, and on a large scale. Um, so do you do realize that whatever this opportunity or this new new seed is you can discern that it seems larger than life. If anything, um, the time expectation is probably not doable, and you do realize that. So, and plus Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius still, so the information is not all there. So you are taking this with a grain of salt, um, um, and you are planting the seeds of it. Okay. The next important thing is happening on the 4th. Mercury in Sagittarius is retrograde, and it will oppose Jupiter in Gemini at 16 degrees here. And Gemini is your 6th house of health, habits, routine, your schedule, and any care you give to another. You are not one of the signs that will be impacted regardless of the degrees. So look for 16 degrees in your natal chart. But this is saying this opposition is where you face the music and there's no one really around you that can help or give you answers, which is good in a way because um, so that you can clearly see it from your own perspective and initiate what you want yourself. Okay. And on the 6th, Mars in Leo, which is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, and credit or government benefits, stations retrograde. And if you're new to this channel, I always say when a planet stations that day, when it stations, take notice a day before, during, and after, because when it stations, there's the veil is lifted, and you can get a snapshot of what the problem is or how it will end in the future. So yeah, pay attention to the 6th. Now, Mars turning retrograde. Um, so the will to keep on going or fighting the good fight is subsiding and is reversing to an allegorical fight within yourself. So the trick here is to pace yourself and use discipline. As the more you try to be assertive, the energy will come back at you twofold. Use this energy to resolve the two differing parts of yourself or play your own devil's advocate. Um, because when you eventually get what you want, when Mars goes direct in Leo, you will be on a powerful footing. Also, one disclosure is be careful with authority figures during this time. Leo is ruled by the sun, the most powerful uh, planet in the solar system, in our solar system, and it does rule over authority figures. So be careful of that. And you are not one of the signs that will be impacted regardless of the degrees. So look to 6 degrees in your natal chart and look to see where Leo is in your natal chart. And that'll give you a clue of how you will be affected. All right, so on the 7th, and I mentioned this in the intro, Ceres, Venus, and Pluto will all conjunct in Aquarius. Okay. Um, the friendships, associations, or group that appeared around November 19th, or maybe even before that, regarding your second house of job and income, will be about the control and power that you have or you don't. Uh, and it will actually reveal these power dynamics by or around December 7th. Okay, there will be a desire by you uh, for you to achieve something powerful here, and these people are helping you with that. Now, I will mostly concentrate here on Venus conjoining Pluto in Aquarius. Venus's role is to attract people. It's to attract money, fortune, and fame and riches. Pluto is the god of the underworld. Okay, and he's very powerful. And Aquarians are very quirky, Uranian, energetic people. Um, they're the genius of the zodiac, as they say, and they're very fast paced. They're all about thunder, lightning, storms, and so forth. So Venus is attracting a powerful or Aquarian uh, person or people, very ingenious ones, very forward thinking. But these Aquarians have Plutonian power, at their fingertips, and who are in a position to deliver the goods, the riches, and control that you crave, regarding your Aquarian related house, which is your second house of income. Now, concentrating on the people here, regarding Aquarius, be aware that class sectarianism is involved. Yes, Aquarius is all about the humanity and the good of all, the good of the group. But Aquarius acts in a different way. So it's really almost like a loner within the group. And that's how Aquarius is able to handle the diversity of the group, is because he's really on the outside, uh, controlling everything. And also the shadow side of Aquarius is that um, the groups are sort of set up in a hierarchy. There's classes, um, sectarianism, and for our purposes here, to for me to explain this to you here, is you will be introduced, uh, regarding this job and income thing. You may not be in the same class as these Aquarians, but with Venus conjoining Pluto, what she's doing and what Pluto is doing, they're um, making it easy for you to permeate these stratas and get into these sects and classes. But it is at a Plutonian price, and I think you are getting, the feel of what I'm trying to say here. I first introduced the idea of Pluto and Aquarius to you guys back in November. So if you're new, just look up the your November horoscope video. So when I did that, when I introduced that, is that Aquarius is faster, much, much faster than you are, Capricorn. But I mean, each to respectfully to their own. You achieve things that Aquarius can't. You rule over government, military, or enforcement, the tradition, and the tried and true. So that has to be taken slow and steady. And you are a very, very careful social climber. That's why no one can knock you off. Now, Aquarius is completely opposite you, and he is called the genius of the zodiac, very much into the internet and technology and aliens and things like that, and very forward thinking. So Aquarius is already knows the pitfalls, and that's why he's racing ahead of everyone to get that knowledge, and he brings it back to us. So with that polarity, and what you thought was out of reach regarding a job or income, will actually surprise you at how fast it's going to come uh, at you, and how easy it will be. But here is where you need to be careful of what you wish for. And I mentioned that in November. Be careful of the price that needs to be paid to get this, because you may, and you may. I'm saying a big may regret it later. Um, but the desire here um, is really, really strong, because this will set you up in a lot of ways. So I can understand the desire. Uh, it's just too tempting, and you're willing to take the risk. So the trick here is small measured steps. If you can do that, because Aquarius does not do small measured steps. It's like, okay, you want it, here it is. Let's go. Sign on the dotted line. Let's go. Let's go. And you just don't do that. So maybe, um, since it will be time sensitive, and you really won't be given time to think, and so maybe another approach would be to take smaller risks. Okay. But if you feel you can go for it, then go for it. In any case, it is a 20-year journey. If you don't feel this now, you will feel it in the future. Pluto and Aquarius are here to transform your second house. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that, because I am going to be making a dedicated video. All right. You are not one of the four signs impacted directly, regardless of degrees. So do look for 0 degrees in your natal chart, as well as where Aquarius falls in your natal chart to understand how it will affect you more. Now, the other thing that's happening on the 7th is Neptune in Pisces will station direct. And again, if you're new here, I don't know if I mentioned it, but at the risk of repeating myself, I will because this is important. Is that I always say pay attention to the day a planet stations, maybe even a day before or after, because a veil is lifted where you can get a snapshot. You get a sneak peek of how something will work out when it goes direct or retrograde. Okay. Um, and then there's a new moon in Pisces. And I already mentioned this in the intro and what it's about, but it's at 27 degrees. So look to your chart at 27 degrees. The other thing that's happening on the 7th, I almost missed it, is the Sun in Sagittarius will oppose Jupiter in Gemini at 16 degrees. Now, the Sagittarius Sun opposing Jupiter in its opposite sign of Gemini, plus Jupiter is Sagittarius's ruling planet. This can be viewed two ways. One would be your Sagittarius and Gemini dominated houses are opposed, they're at loggerheads to the way things should be handled, and it is a finale or an ending to both houses. Um, and this is where rare occasions, especially if Sagittarius is involved or Jupiter, where this opposition is good because it can culminate of both houses being harvested from the fruits of your labor. The trick here is since it is the most powerful planet, the sun, uh, and an equally powerful planet, the planet of luck, Jupiter, do not push your luck into what you are getting because this can translate into money, riches, or fame. Okay, this opposition, and since Jupiter is retrograde, just don't be like, oh, that's super nice, but if it was this, it would have been better, because what Jupiter will do, it will take everything away. In any case, you are not one of the signs that will be impacted directly. So look to 16 degrees and look to where Gemini, if you have it, or Sagittarius in your natal chart. All right. Neptune, I've already discussed. The only thing I will say here is you will have some kind of realization that whatever you have been struggling with, that you think is an illusion, because Neptune rules that, and so does Pisces, you will see that your hard work has actually yielded not the illusion, but a reality. And we have to thank your ruler Saturn, which has been in Pisces, helping you put up boundaries and structure here. All right, the next important thing here will be on the 12th. Let me make sure. Yeah, on the 12th, Venus in Aquarius will oppose Mars in Leo at 5 degrees. This is Venus and Mars, man and woman, lovers. So romantic problems and fights. Um, it can be, break up to make up kind of deal, or it can be an all out like war. Um, but the main takeaway from this is roles are reversed here so that both of you can walk in each other's shoes and see what it feels like. You will not be one of the signs that will be impacted. So if you are interested, look to 5 degrees in your natal chart and where Leo and Aquarius fall in your chart. All right, on the 13th, the moon in Gemini opposes Mercury in Sagittarius at 6 degrees. Mercury and Venus is all about party, networking, socializing, and get togethers. And naturally, it's a holiday month, and you will find yourself in these circles. So expect invitations or being at a gathering and having a discussion with a firebrand of sorts, a unique and forward thinking person that could be very important in your very near future, specifically January and February. So pay attention to who you meet and what the discussion is about. And if it's not uh, that direct person, it might be, the conversation might be like, oh, I have this friend who can do this for you, who can hook you up, or what have you. So pay attention to that and uh, take up that offer. Again, you are not one of the 5 signs that will be impacted directly, regardless of degree. So look to 6 degrees in your natal chart to know how you will be affected here. But it's happening around the 13th. Okay, on the 15th, the Sun in Sagittarius at 23 degrees will oppose the Moon in Gemini at 23 degrees. Also, this is sort of a heavy duty day because we also have Mercury stationing direct in Sagittarius at 6 degrees, and then we have the full moon in Gemini at 23 degrees. Let me first do Mercury stationing direct in Sagittarius. So again, it's a planet that's stationed, so pay attention to the 14th, 15th, and 16th regarding communication, thinking, ideas, contracts, agreements, regarding your 12th house, the past, and anything related to that. Um, Even though Mercury is stationing direct here and will go direct, it will not clear its shadow of retrograde until January 4th. So any communication or agreements or contracts that are being discussed between December 15th and January 4th, expect that it might be reversed, canceled, or delayed. So try to put off any decisions during this time unless you can get it in writing. That's regarding Mercury. Now, the Sun opposing the Moon this time. Um, well, it translates to this full moon in Gemini. The ending in your Gemini related house, which is your 6th house of health, habits, and routine, feels like, um, and because it's opposing, it's an applying opposition to Sagittarius, so your 12th house, it feels like a major decision. And the problem is that there is like a disconcerting feeling or a nagging feeling, or thinking that this is not what you want or desire. And I always say, try to avoid making any life altering decisions on a full moon because, contrary to popular belief, and even some astrologers who say, "Oh, a full moon illuminates everything. You see everything." No, you don't. There is a hidden aspect to a full moon. There's something being concealed from you. Plus, you have, Mercury in shadow retrograde and all this problems. You simply do not have the full picture, or rather, all the information to make a informed decision. You will, though, after January 4th. You will have all the information that you need. So, again, try to delay it if you can. If you can't, um, try to get it in writing. Okay? And you are not one of the signs that is affected regardless of the degrees. So, look to 23 degrees here. Sorry, hold on 1 second. There's somebody knocking. Okay, so on the 18th, the Sun in Sagittarius will square Neptune in Pisces at 27 degrees. This is a classic torn between the past and what the present situation is, and trying to reconcile the two. You may feel that you have um, lost both, but you haven't. You just need to have faith in the present because Pisces and Neptune rule faith. It is all about faith and religion. So you just need to have faith in the present and be ready to, yes, sacrifice something of the past. And besides, something in the past that you don't need, so that you are decluttered to take in the present. Okay, you are not one of the 3 signs that will be impacted regardless of the degree. So do look to 27 degrees in your natal chart for this day and see where Pisces, if you have any Pisces in your natal chart. All right, on the 19th, Venus in Aquarius will trine Jupiter in Gemini at 14 degrees. Again, Venus attracts money, love, and riches, fortune, and fame. Jupiter is the planet of good luck and expansion. But Jupiter is in retrograde right now. So the luck and expansion has stopped. And you can attest to that in your own with your Gemini related house. Ever since May, you've been very busy with a routine, a health schedule, um, um, or maybe you were taking care of someone, so you almost got overwhelmed. And ever since it started going retrograde, that has subsided for you. But right here, uh, um, with this aspect, Venus is sort of cajoling Jupiter to allow some reprieve here, to allow some expansion, because we sorely need it here. And Jupiter is responding. So you will start to feel a little luck in your Gemini related house, maybe even coming from your Aquarius related house, as Venus is in Aquarius. So maybe one of these uh, friends or groups that you've recently met will affect your schedule and routine, where it will start. It will give you more time, or something like that. You are not one of the six signs who will be impacted directly, regardless of the degrees. So look for 14 degrees in your, excuse me, in your natal chart. Okay, sorry about that. On the 21st, um, very important here, the sun enters your sign at the winter solstice. Very auspicious. And the winter solstice represents the shortest day and the longest night of the year in the northern hemisphere. And this is the second phase of the compromise that I've mentioned earlier. This is where the debate will go on a little bit further, and tweaking will happen here, so that you guys can perfect this compromise. Remember, compromise is about um, agreeing to gain and to lose in order to come to an agreement. Okay, and you are one of the signs that will be impacted regardless of the degrees. So do look to the 21st through Christmas for this compromise to be jump started somehow. All right. I don't think I put this in your planetary lineups. I might have, but I decided to include this because I think it's important. On the 22nd, there will be a last quarter moon in Libra. Watch the space, as this is a small flavor, or a short video or a snapshot of the ending, that of a repetitive situation that will end by January 25th. Okay, um, Libra rules your your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures, and Aries um, rules your home and family. And why I mention Aries here is because Aries is now in the North Node. The North Node is in Aries now, and the South Node is in Libra. And all this tense opposition that's been happening since October. I mean, we had a solar eclipse in Libra, and Aries opposed it. Then we had a full moon in Aries, and Libra opposed it. And the nodes are opposing each other as we speak. And there is a karmic, 18 or 19 year ago, uh, karmic thing that's been playing out between your status and reputation and your home and family. Excuse me. Take a drink of water. Okay, and and this repetition will stop. And this last quarter moon is giving you a picture of how it'll stop. Okay, um, some of you may be leaving a partnership behind. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so some of you will be leaving a partnership behind. Maybe some of you will be separating. Maybe this will be temporary, um, but this is happening. Those of you who aren't will realize that it is not because you can't leave, it's because you choose to stay, and for a higher purpose, let's say. But like I said, by the end of January, this codependency repetitive issue will disappear, and independence within this relationship will thrive, where both of you will be able to feel much more lighter about this. And this is very important here because it is your fourth house of roots and family, and you are all about roots and family and tradition. And of course, the other house is equally important, as it is your career and your reputation and authority figures. And no surprise, you are one of the four signs that will be impacted directly, regardless of the degrees. And as I can see, it is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and you, Capricorn. All heavy duty players. You guys are all cardinal signs. And you are the strongest of these cardinal signs. So this is a very important last quarter moon. Yikes, I gotta check my chart. All right, moving on to Christmas Eve. Jupiter in Gemini will square Saturn in Pisces at 14 degrees. This is the second and last square to Saturn by Jupiter. The first time it happened, Jupiter was direct and expanding your sixth house of um, uh, health habits and routines. Um, and Saturn was more in the background because it was retrograde, uh, where where Jupiter was overwhelming you. Saturn really couldn't do anything because it was retrograde. But the square did happen where Saturn did try to warn you. This is the second time, and Jupiter now is retrograde, and Saturn is now direct. So um, Jupiter is being muted so that you can catch your breath, and Saturn now is going to be saying no. You do not need this. You do not need that. You're cutting away the fat, and Saturn is awake and direct. So it's going to be helping you do that. Saturn is your ruler, so you're very used to this energy. Okay. The other thing that is playing out with this is um, make sure you do cut away what you don't need or what has caused you too much friction here. Saturn is cautioning you that even though, uh, with in regards to commitments, because this is playing out in that way too. Um, Even though you may feel that you have committed to something else and can't go back, um, Saturn is saying that no matter, there are no excuses here. It's giving you a crack, it's giving you a way to slide through, that it is still a choice either way, that there is a way, either way your choices take you. Okay. What I'm trying to say is for those of you who see this as an uphill battle or going against everybody or going against the grain, Saturn here is controlling the fallout um, while Jupiter is retrograde. And if you choose to go against the grain, uh, when Jupiter wakes up and turns direct, Jupiter is the planet of luck, of course, but it is the planet of expansion. And if it sees that there is a crack, that there is problems, it will expand problems. Okay. And then Saturn will be unable to contain a fallout. Saturn will actually help Jupiter um, to find a crack where if this needs to dissolve, it will dissolve. Um, so Jupiter does expand problems even more. And again, this aspect is important as it is giving you a snapshot of the future. Even though you may feel, again, like that a certain stand you made will make you lose respect if you turn it around. Saturn is wisely whispering, or maybe loudly saying, on the contrary, you will actually gain more respect by admitting fault or by saying there's nothing wrong with making a turnaround. And turning it around will make you a wiser and more dignified person. If you feel a relief in some way with a reversal of a decision, then you will know you are on the right path, on the right track. So choose wisely. And you will be one of the four signs, excuse me, that will be impacted directly regardless of the degrees. So do watch Christmas Eve or day before or even Christmas Day because something is happening here. Now, I wasn't going to include this, but I am including it, and especially for certain signs because it's important. So on the 29th, Chiron, the wounded healer, the maverick, the teacher, um, has been in Aries retrograde. It has been going deep down and under and finding where this wound was in your home and family and how it came about, and digging down there. Uh, on the 29th, it will station direct at 19 degrees Capricorn. And here, when it stations direct, again, it's a stationing planet. So pay attention to this day as you will get a sneak peek of how this will play out. But when it starts moving forward, it's going to heal those wounds. Okay, Chiron was a centaur who was wounded, and his wound would never heal. But how he healed himself was teaching others about how he got wounded, and it really helped him out. So Chiron is going to be teaching you how to heal your home and family. And you are one of the signs that will be impacted regardless of the degrees. So do pay attention to the 29th. Excuse me, because on the same day, just as Chiron is waking up, the moon in Sagittarius, which is your 12th house of psyche and the past, trines Chiron in Aries in your fourth house of home and family. Wow, this is big. Um, yeah, this is really big. Trine is a very, very nice, pleasing aspect. And for your mental health, um, and your emotion to be in concert and happy with the wounded healer and healing your wound regarding your home and family, it's absolutely fantastic. Um, Lucky, you're a lucky person. I'm glad you deserve it because you went through a lot with home and family since 2010. All right. And then the last aspect is the 30th, and 31st, where on New Year's Eve, there will be a new black moon in your sign at 0 degrees. Yes, it's actually called the black moon. Oh my gosh. When I saw that black moon, I'm like, oh my God, why would you have to say that about Capricorn? But it's so fitting. Um, well, first of all, because it's in the dead of winter. Secondly, is because you're a Capricorn. You're very somber, very dignified. You rule governments and securities and law enforcement and the shadowy stuff, CIA and FBI. And I thought, wow, this is perfect for Capricorn. I'm laughing with you, Capricorn. I'm laughing with you. I'm going through my own transformation, healing transformation, and I can only laugh at this point now. Tired of crying. So yeah, this new black moon in your sign, this is a very important new moon because it is reflecting the year and that is passing 2024 this year. As you look at it in the rearview mirror, and you are actually nostalgic. Uh, I never could understand this when my mother used to tell me, "Oh, I love the good old days," and I'm nostalgic for them, and I would be like, "Oh my God, they were the worst days." She's like, "Yeah, but they were the best days." It's like, what's that about? But I think you'll understand this meaning. And you've been through so much that it has been painful. But I think you wouldn't have had it any other way. That's the nostalgia you'll be feeling for, and 2024 embodies that. Like I said, as you look in the rearview mirror, you feel nostalgic. But because it is the new moon on New Year's Eve, it will also be setting the theme for all of 2025. um, excuse me. But this will be a new you, a new transformed you, a new magnanimous you. Um, so that'll set the theme. So on this new moon, you're sowing the seeds, and you will reap the harvest, uh, and the culmination of it 6 months down the line. And boom, it coincides exactly with mid 2025, right after Saturn and Neptune leave Pisces, right after uh, the North nodes are out of Libra and Aries, right after Mars in Leo and Cancer finally go forward and clean house and finish. Uh, so, in other words, look to all these um, friction, all these hard aspects, all this nostalgia, all this uneasiness. Look to mid year next year for it to be completely gone. Okay, and this new moon this new opportunity or the seed that you're planting is that magic that will happen in mid-year next year. All right, Capricorn, I hope this was informative for you. Also, before I let you go, is this will not be the last video for December. As I have promised, I'll do a dedicated video for Pluto and Aquarius. Again, I didn't do it because I wanted to get this last degree solved, and I didn't want to leave anyone behind. Uh, and I said, well, it's still 20 years, but I want to do it before the new year. And I will also be uploading another video regarding Mars in Cancer and Leo, because usually Mars only spends a few weeks in each sign. And good God, it's spending 6 months in these two signs. So there's something really important here to be gleaned in order to move forward. So I'll be dropping those videos. I'm also working on your 2025 year videos. Woohoo! That might be get uploaded before the new year. So hopefully you're subscribed so that when these videos drop, you get notified. And then in closing, like I said, if you found this informative or at least entertaining, do give it a thumbs up, a like, because it really does help um, with um, with getting my channel out there and boosting it. It's a new channel and I'm trying to build it, and you guys are my Aquarians. You guys are the ones that'll make me famous. So smash that like button if you can, please. It's free. All right, Capricorn, please take care of yourself, and I will speak to you before the new year. Take care.